much is being written and said these days about the conservation of our dwindling natural resources. We've long been a wasteful, profligate nation in the use of these natural resources. We are just beginning to realize that if we are to progress at our present rate of expansion, if we are to keep pace with the nation's growth and demands, we must make some radical changes in our way of thinking. Now here's the story of how one industry, the anthracite industry, is thinking. Your job's to get that story on film, and it's quite an assignment. Of course, the real picture's in the field. Take a run out to the mines, talk with the men, cover the anthracite railroads. They have a story. Get the feel of the hard coal region. See what's going on. Find out what they're doing to streamline the industry. Talk with people who burn anthracite. Check on what's new in modern automatic equipment. We want to know the story of these 20th century black diamonds. There it is. See what you can do with it, and good luck.
Lowell Thomas gave me the title, Black Diamonds, the story of anthracite. To find some of the answers, I went to the Pennsylvania State University. Founded in 1855 as one of the country's first land-grant colleges, Penn State now has 12,000 students from 41 states and 5 continents. The College of Mineral Industries seemed like a good place to start. I looked in on a class conducted by Professor William Spackman. I wanted to know something of the geological background of anthracite, the history of hard coal.
This is a piece of anthracite. We sometimes call it a black diamond. That's because its nearest relative is the real diamond. A white diamond is 100% carbon. What we call a black diamond, the same hard coal or anthracite which you burn in your furnace, is also carbon, up to 94% solid carbon. For instance, a piece of washed anthracite is physically clean. See? This same carbon content and lack of volatile heavy hydrocarbons is what makes anthracite burn clean, without smoke or soot. To show you how hard anthracite is, some of these objects of art were made of anthracite coal.
Excuse me, Professor.
Oh, pardon me, Charlotte. May we have a closer look at those earrings? Thank you. Pure Pennsylvania anthracite, just like the hard coal which you burn in your furnace. You know, the origin of anthracite is equally amazing. Nature began making anthracite 250 million years ago. There were trees and other plants unlike anything we have ever seen, and human life was unknown. This is what science calls the Carboniferous Age. This is when the story of anthracite began. Lush forests of tree ferns and of a variety of other plants, flooded with sunshine and drenched with rain, died and were replaced in rapid succession by other forests. Each time, a new layer of vegetation, now a carbonaceous mass, was driven deeper and deeper below the surface, as the earth was flooded with water and the area was covered by sand and silt and mud. The weight of this sand and mud on top of the peat pressed the peat into a harder material called lignite or brown coal. Millions of years went by. More and more weight and pressure were put upon the lignite. This weight, aided perhaps by the resulting heat, pressed the soft black rock into what we call bituminous or or soft coal. When it was squeezed for another few million years, it became hard coal, or anthracite, the highest grade of solid fuel, product of a multi-million-year aging process. As many as 14 layers of this type carbon deposit have been found. They provide us with a record of the number of forests that grew, died, and were buried there when the earth was young. To our knowledge, this unusual phenomenon occurred in this country, principally in this 484 square mile area of northeastern Pennsylvania, which we now call the Anthracite region.
The professor showed me an amazing three-dimensional model to give an idea of how an anthracite mine would look if you took away the top and could see inside. The shaft through which the men enter the mine and coal is brought out sometimes is more than 1,000 feet deep. Imagine going underground a distance twice the height of the Washington Monument. Coal is mined at different levels. At each level, the tunnels follow the seams of coal upward or downward. However, they are formed by nature. Each level has its own system of tracks and cars feeding toward the main shaft. The coal is blasted at the base of the seam, or breast. Are run by electricity toward the elevator shaft, where they are shunted onto the lift one by one and sped to the surface. I asked the professor, what about this source of supply? How long may we expect it to last?
Our known deposits are good for the next 150 years. This is more than can be said of many other fuels.
Professor Spackman suggested that I see the Fuel Combustion Laboratory. This is a part of the Research and Experimental Station. Here I saw modern instruments of science being used to study the structure of minerals. I found Dr. John Hipple addressing a class in elementary heating.
With the modern equipment available today, the burning of anthracite can be as automatic and as accurately controlled as can the burning of any other fuel. This is the result of research and development on equipment designed to utilize the smaller and more economical sizes. Here is one type of automatic burning equipment. The firebox in this unit is only a few inches in height and takes advantage of the discovery that no matter how deep anthracite is stacked in a fuel bed, only the bottom layers, 5 or 6 pieces deep, actually burn. Constant fuel bed depth is maintained by using an Archimedes screw to transport the anthracite from storage bin to firebox. This type of feeder guarantees the delivery of the right amount of fuel under all conditions of operation. The industry even has an automatic ash removal system for transferring the ashes out of the basement. It operates on the vacuum cleaner principle and eliminates the possibility of dirt and dust. Let us take a look at another unit. This is another completely automatic type, a boiler burner unit. It's not even necessary that the coal be stored in the basement. It could be stored in any enclosed bin outside the house. The coal fed through this tube is delivered to the retort, where it is burned with just the right amount of air for best efficiency. The boiler is designed to effectively utilize the heat liberated. The combination is an efficient, compact, and integrated comfort heating unit. The automatic ash removal is also adaptable to this or any other type of modern equipment.
How does automatic anthracite equipment compare to other types of fuel burners?
We find that the automatic anthracite units have high efficiency comparable to or better than the best automatic units burning other fuels. To determine overall seasonal efficiency, the University of Illinois tested a variety of equipment and fuels in actual homes under identical test conditions. Their results agree closely with our own and show that the anthracite automatically fired gives as good efficiency as any other fuel.
What I'd learned at Penn State made me want to see more of this picturesque hard coal region. Here in the foothills of the Alleghenies, where the Lehigh River cuts its way through the rugged ranges of Pennsylvania, is where our first anthracite was discovered. As I watched the long trains moving through the mountain passes, I began to realize how hard coal and the railroads have contributed so much to the development and growth of the entire eastern seaboard. Today, this network of rail transportation covering the populous portions of Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey